Hello, Ralph Davella back. Today I want to talk about how important it is to incorporate etudes and legato studies into your daily practice sessions. Carmen Caruso used to have me study out of the René Laurent book. René Laurent was a French trumpet player. He taught and he played at the Paris Conservatory of Music. His book incorporated etudes with lyrical playing. I'll show you his book in a minute. First, I want to tell you about another book that we played out of. Jimmy Maxwell had him play out of the Giuseppe Concone book. Jimmy Maxwell was a teacher and trumpet player in New York. He played for all the major networks. He traveled with Benny Goodman all over Europe. He was his featured trumpet player. And he played in many motion pictures, including The Godfather 2, where he was the featured trumpet player. The book that Jimmy Maxwell would like to use to try to make me a better trumpet player was the Giuseppe Concone book. Giuseppe Concone was a singer. Giuseppe Concone moved to France and became very famous as a singer and a teacher, vocalist, and composer. Let me show you his book now. Well, I think I'll show you the other book first, the Ray Laurent book, and then I'll show you the Giuseppe Concone book. And it's not only about the books, it's really about the way these two teachers taught them. You do not need to go out and buy these books. You can use the Arbin book and pick out the similar studies. That will do the job, and it's really the way how you practice them. So let's get started on them now. This first book is the René Laurent book. Carmen Caruso used to make me work out of it. So let me show you the first study. We're going to do part of the first study. And what I want to talk about in the first study really is we talk about breathing, getting from, getting through a whole phrase, not taking a breath in between. All right, so in here we're going to play from the beginning to here. So this really, should be done all in one breath. If you can't, that's okay. So, you work on it. And we'll talk about a little bit how you were able to get from here to here in one breath. All right, so let's just play the study, and then we'll talk about it, this part of the study. That's all we're going to do, and we'll talk about it after we play it. Okay, so these 16 measures, let's talk about getting through them in one breath. Everyone is different. Maybe you might take your regular breath and get through them with no problem. But let's talk about in case you would like to try to get some extra air into your lungs, or you need to get a little extra air in there to complete these 16 measures. Let's just talk about breathing a little bit. Well, first you take your regular breath. Okay, then what I'll do, if that doesn't get you through the 16 measures, is take your regular breath, and then on top of that regular breath, think of it as if you're going to try to yell to your neighbor across the street, like this. First take your regular breath. Now you're going to yell to your neighbor breath. Because usually what we're going to speak loud, a lot of times we go. So that gives you extra air into your lungs. So here's the two again. Regular breath. Neighbor breath across the street. Now try to play it and see how you do, and see if you can get through it. Now, if that doesn't do it, let me give you another tip. Regular breath, neighbor breath, then sip some more air in. The last thing is a sip of air. Try it that way. So you got your regular breath. You're going to yell to your neighbor across the street breath. An extra sip of air on top of your lungs, and one more thing. That may help you. Take your regular breath, your neighbor breath, your sip of air, then breathe in through your nose an extra little breath last. So it's like this. Regular breath, neighbor breath, sip of air, then breathe in through your nose. Yeah, that last one will take you a little bit further. Sometimes when you try to breathe in that much, you actually get tight and it works against you. But it's a matter of learning the technique, and it'll help you. So practice that way, and I think you'll make it through those 16 bars okay. The next book I'm going to show you is the book I worked out of with Jimmy Maxwell. This is the Giuseppe Concone. He was an Italian singer. This is all lyrical, and it does so much for you. We're going to work this page today. We're not going to do a lot. We're only going to do from the beginning to right here, I believe. It's really not about the notes or even this book. This is how you would work with work with lyrical studies, and this is how he taught me to play smoothly, and to play in tune, and just big octave jumps or interval jumps. Try to get it as best as possible. So we're going to talk about how he taught it, and we'll play it. Now the surprise thing I want to tell you about on this is not only do we play it the way it's written, but we read it up a fourth. Now that's going to take a lot of practice, but what it does for you is not only it teaches you to read up a fourth, which sometimes is important when you go to a job. It used to be important, especially a lot of times they wouldn't have the trumpet part. You had to read from a bass clef part, and you had to transpose, so it helped a lot in that. But playing this up a fourth was not easy on your chops, but it set your chops in such a way, if you weren't playing good, and you weren't playing as well as you can, this would set you up in a way where you started playing very nice. It was a big help playing this up a fourth. So whenever I had trouble playing, or I wasn't playing as nice as I normally play, I would go back to this book and play it. That's what Jimmy Maxwell told me to do, and I did it, and it worked for me through all these years. So we're going to go through it both ways as written, and then we're going to play it up a fourth. All right, let's do the book now. In the book, I will show you some of the notes that he wrote down to help me get through it, to play it in a musical way. All right, let's play it. Okay, these are Jimmy Maxwell's notes on here. And he was, wrote things down like is don't lip down, like when you get down to here, because you don't want the note to be flat. We'll go through some of them as we go along. Exact timing. Open the teeth to get down to from the E to the A without noise in between. You'll hear these things if you record yourself. You'll hear what you need to improve. So first, this is the most important thing. This he wanted to play as so musical, and try to get through from here to here all at one time meant nothing. So what he would do is he would make you play 1, 2, or 4 measures, or 2 measures. You see where he put, let's see if we see it here, the lines, that's where you stop, you take it off and rest. Same thing here. So you would just play a couple measures or 4 measures and try to get it as perfect as you possibly can, and keep the ear flowing. And it was all about playing lyrical. So you didn't want it. It wasn't about playing 10, 15 bars and not playing it right. So this was about getting it right, about getting yourself playing correctly. So let's play it first the way it's written, and then, like I said, we're going to play it up a fourth after that. So we're going to play from here to here, but we're only going to do a couple measures at a time, like he taught it to us, and you'll see why when we play it. Okay, so we played from here to here in that time, probably a little longer than he probably would have wanted me to play. And we take it off, and then we're going to play a couple more measures. And I think you can tell we're trying to play it as best we can with the best possibly sound we can. He wanted me to use vibrato when I could, and he wanted me to make the jumps, the interval jumps, as clean as possible. Taught me different ways of doing it. You may have your own ways of doing it, but you'll hear yourself how, if you're doing it as good as you think you are or not if you record yourself. All right, so let's continue on. Okay, that's all as far as we're going to go with that one. Okay, that's it. We're going to now continue with the next couple measures. And that's as far as we're going to take that, is up to here. Now, of course, we're going to play the whole exercise, but you don't need to play the whole exercise all one day or all 1 week. You can just keep practicing this, because if you get this right, you're going to get the rest right. You hear how it sounds. We want to do it clean. We want to blow air. We want a full sound. We want vibrato. And this is going to get you playing. This is going to get your chops playing good. And believe it or not, this will help you throughout your whole register, from the lowest notes to the highest notes. So the next thing that we're going to do, and I know, like I said, this may seem a little strange, we're going to transpose it up a fourth. Now, if you have to write it down at first, or whatever. But so we're going to transpose up a fourth. Right now it's in the key of D. We're going to transpose up the fourth. It brings us up to the key of G. And this is what he used to say to me. This will get you playing beautiful, and it will get you back on playing on the right track if you're not playing good that week, or if you had a difficult week of playing. And it worked for me, and I think it will work for you. So let's do the same line, and just transpose it up a fourth to see how it sounds. It is more difficult, but it's worth doing. All right, let's do it. Okay, that's it. Rest. I will play the next couple measures. Same thing, we'll rest again. Now we'll play these last two measures, three measures. So like I say, you don't need to run out and buy these books. I'm glad I have them, but you can use the Auburn book. If you have the Auburn book, there's similar studies in there you can do the same thing with. So the transposing up a fourth part not only helps you with your lyrical playing, but it's a skill that's good to have. It's maybe not 100% necessary, but I could tell you one short story for me is I went on an audition in New York on a Sunday night radio show. It was like a big band format. And they didn't have all the trumpet parts. And I transposed off one of the bass clef sheets. And I don't know, I think that's what did it. I think the conductor was a little impressed by that. And I got the job and played with that band for quite a few months on the Sunday night radio. So I think the point that I'm really trying to make is that I think you should consider incorporating these Legato Etude trumpet studies into your daily practice routine. They'll surely help you. and not only would it help you with just playing more musical, but the whole range of the trumpet, it improves. You'll see it as you get to play these. I hope that you enjoyed this lesson. I enjoyed actually presenting this. It's a little different. All right, thank you, and see you next time.